to address some comments because I have folks big mad. I'm talking all kinds of big mad. And so this next segment, this one's going to be special. And it's special because rarely do I address specific comments.
Yeah, he's spewing all kinds of nonsense and bullshit. Let me just be real. And we weren't gonna sit for that shit. We wouldn't. You know, we showed up. And if he had some sense, then maybe we would have been about that life. But y'all know he ain't got no sense. So please give some love. This took a little bit of coordinating to do for sure. We got some cool shirts. We got Madam Williams.
This is not what we should be doing. I don't even know why we fighting with Greenland. Why we fighting with Greenland? We fighting with Canada. We fighting with Mexico. Yet we in love with Putin. What is happening? Like, this is not America. This is a terrible nightmare. Somebody slap me and wake me the fuck up because I'm ready to get on with it. That while we may not have the numbers just yet, that doesn't mean that we don't have fight left in our bodies. And so I am going to fight him every step of the way until we get what we deserve, because it was my ancestors that built this motherfucker. Okay, I'm done now. I'm done.
First of all, thank you for making the back of my head famous. But second of all, if we could do a sequel, if you could tell Donald Trump anything tonight, what would you tell him?
I would tell him to grow a spine and stop being Putin's hoe.
Now, I had sharp criticism in commentary, I would say, against Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Now, I'm not the only one. I think what it is we see a lot of males on YouTube just expressing themselves about her disposition and the way that she chooses to conduct herself as a congresswoman. There's a sister code, right? Where Black women cannot check other Black women. And if you do so, it's because you hate yourself, right? And so I just thought that was really weird. So I got a lot of folks all up in their feelings. So this is going to be a special one because some folks had a whole lot of smoke for me after I dared to critique Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. So I'm going to read a lot of the comments, and the issue, or should I say my main criticism with Jasmine was the unprofessional, ghetto hood rat orangutan energy that she just was engaging in. And in my opinion, we have a segment of the culture that acts this way, right? Your Cardi B's and all of, your celebrity hip hop artists. Like there's a place for that. But then you're like, okay, you're in Congress, right? You're an attorney by trade, and now you're a sitting congresswoman. Like, we just expect something different. And so what I have learned is that apparently pointing out that a sitting congresswoman who, might I add, took an oath, right? Who took an oath of office to, carry herself a certain way and to carry out her duties. People had a problem with that. I think most of it was the fact that I said that she shouldn't be acting. And I didn't say this, but I felt like, I was like, why is she acting like she just stepped off a set of an unhinged reality TV show or something like that, right? And so I guess since this type of behavior from the culture, it is socially accepted. No one seems to have a problem with it. I think people were just taken aback that I chose to do it. So I'm going to go ahead and read the first comment. Comment number 1 was, I love that Jasmine is one of the few Democrats that don't go along with what this administration is doing, which is destroying democracy. And I was like, oh, bless your heart. I was like, okay. So this comment wasn't rude or anything like that. It wasn't rude. And I picked this one just to let you know that I do come in peace, right? It wasn't rude at all, but it did sadden me. And it saddened me because this person really thinks that Jasmine Crockett is some rogue Democrat, right? That's standing against the establishment for the good of the people. And so I was like, that's cute, right? It's almost adorable. But I was like, let me help this person out really quick. So Jasmine Crockett is not some freedom fighter bravely opposing tyranny. Right? That's first we'd have to define tyranny, and we're not living under tyranny right now. Now, I would argue the previous administration was definitely tyrannical, particularly during the pandemic. Like that was tyranny if I had ever experienced it. Just too much government overreach, telling people you when to worship, you can't worship, you can't open up your church, you can't do this, you can't do like that was tyranny. But no, Jasmine is a trained puppet, right? Puppet dancing on the strings of the very people who are systematically ruining this country. And I'm going to name some of these individuals, but my question is, do you honestly think that the Democrat Party would allow someone to remain in office if they weren't towing the party line? You're not a very good Democrat if you believe that. Because the moment she steps out of line, they're going to toss her aside like last year's campaign promises, like they do every year. Yes, the only reason she gets away with the theatrics is because she is useful to them. Just like these 10 Democrats that voted to censure Al Green, which we're going to talk about if we get to it, they would do the same thing to her. She's not standing up to the administration. She's standing up for the same progressive nonsense that has gotten our economy tanking, that has crime soaring, and the border looking like a turnstile in a New York City subway station. You just jump the turnstile and get right on in, right? She doesn't want Doge to find fraud, so that's why she hates Elon Musk. Elon ain't do nothing to her. She's not really worried about people's privacy and social security numbers. That is not her concern. She doesn't want Doge to find fraud and waste or government theft because she's part of the fraud, the waste, and the government theft. That's why she hates Elon Musk so much. That's why they all hate Elon Musk so much. She enriches herself, just like all of these other Democrat politicians do. But then what they do, they're enriching themselves. You're not privy to how they're doing it. Stacey Abrams, yes, her too. But then they sell you victimhood and oppression so that you don't pay any attention to the underground money grab that's been happening. Like, what politician that loves this country and that is really concerned about Social Security and that's really concerned about Medicare and that's really concerned about our national debt, which one of them would have a problem with uncovering and cutting fraud, waste, abuse? Who's going to have a problem with that other than people who are like, wait a minute, they might find out what we up to. We have to have a problem with this. That's what's been happening. So Elon has to be the boogeyman. He has to be the boogeyman. He has to be, he gonna steal your information. How useful is it to Elon to have access to you? What's he gonna do with your social security number? Your credit score is like a 320. Not Jasmine. I'm just saying, people who are making this argument, it ain't useful to him. But sure, go ahead, clap for her foolishness if it makes you feel better. But the question you need to ask yourself is, why is Jasmine more passionate about LGBTQ and trans rights than she is about talking about the policies that destroy or harm Black families? Why is it that you never hear her mention Black families? Why is it that you never hear her talk about it? Could it be because one, she doesn't have one? Two, she don't care about Black families? Why? If she cared about Black families or families in general, my question is, name one policy initiative that she supports that would benefit a healthy family structure. Just name one. I ain't you just one. Ain't a lot. One. Name one. Not only that, name one educational initiative that she supports that would help Black and brown kids thrive. Because we already know she's against school choice, right? She wants your kids to stay in a failing school. Yet she was afforded the opportunity to go and be educated at a prestigious private school herself. So why is her private school education good enough for her? But it's not good enough for you to get your own tax dollars and send your child into the educational environment that's best suited for them. Explain that to me. This is why she wants to keep you outraged saying, oh, Donald Trump wants to dismantle the Department of Education, but she doesn't explain to you exactly what that means and what it would look like for the states to be in charge of their own education and to compete and to unleash the educational opportunities by giving you your own money back to educate your children in the way that is best for them. Why she want to talk about that? Could it be? Could it be is because she actually promotes policies that are proven to not improve educational outcomes and that she supports policies that are anti-human flourishing, such as abortion? Yes, baby murder, boom, assassination. We already know the Black community is beyond the rate of replacement. I can't respect not now one Black politician that wants to lecture me about humanity when you can't even protect our preborn neighbors, which are the most vulnerable among us. They're not even out the womb yet. Don't talk to me about humanity. We are beyond the rate of replacement. Could it be because the people who fund her campaign, i.e., George Soros and his son Alex, they won't allow her to push pro-family. She can't speak pro-family rhetoric because you can't be pro-family and pro-LGBTQ at the same time. Those two are diametrically opposed to each other. They cannot exist. So here's what I want to do. I want to show y'all this. I'm going to bring this up and how can I get it over here? All right, I'm going to do it this way. Let me show y'all this. We'll show this one first. Ooh, sorry. They're not very attractive people, but y'all see this picture right here? Do y'all see that? This picture, hold on, I'm gonna have to rename this file so that I can see it. The one you're looking at on the screen right now is George Soros, and that is his son. That's his son, Alex, right? So I want to show y'all that just to give you some context of why I'm bringing this up. Now, let me read something to you. Let me read something to you guys. Y'all, I'm sorry. I'm about to spontaneously combust. I'm really hot. Let me read this. This is according to the Free Beacon. Alex Soros took over in December. This was December, I want to say 2023, as chairman of the board of Open Society Foundations, which pours hundreds of millions of dollars annually into progressive causes in the United States and around the world. Open Society has backed groups that support the movement to defund the police. Do not tell me you care about the Black community when you were on board with defunding the police. I don't believe you, right? Defunding the police and expanding the Supreme Court, among other left-wing causes. Alex Soros told the Journal he plans to use Open Society's $25 billion war chest to fund the expansion of abortion and voting rights across the country. You know, when Alex says voting rights, do you know what he's really talking about? Jasmine one of the core pillars of her campaign was, I'm fighting for voting rights. Like, the Democrats always talk about voting rights. And if you think about it, you're like, well, who don't have the right to vote? What voting rights are they talking about? Because I've never had a problem going to vote unless when I moved and my address was all a little messed up or things changed. What voting rights are they talking about? When they're talking about voting rights, do any of you have rights that, or your rights are restricted to vote unless you're a felon or unless you are in this country illegally? Are those the voting rights perhaps that they're talking about, where they're going to allow the illegal alien to participate in the election process? So they say voting rights, but they never articulate and explain what they mean by that. Just a question. This is why. So I showed you that picture, and now I got to show you one more. So let me get little buddy down. And then I have one more picture I wanted to show you as soon as I find it. I got to bring the keyboard out for this one. I'm going somewhere with this. Y'all just rock with me just for a little bit. All right. We almost there. I got the picture. Now let me bring it on in. Let's bring it on in. Hopefully it's not too big. No, that's the wrong one. You acting this way? This picture does not want to cooperate. I'm going to save this bad boy one more time. I'm pretty sure the extension was fine. I'm going to save it to my desktop. That's what we'll do. Let's do that. Put it in downloads. All right, now let's try. Oh, this thing don't want me to show this picture. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do it as a screen share. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do it as a screen share. So let me clear some of this stuff out. And let me open this browser. Pull it out. Now we're going to drag it all the way over here and make this bigger. All right. I appreciate you guys bearing with me. Let's do it like this. Here we go. All right. Y'all see this? Let's see if we can make it a little bigger. I don't know. This is the one I want you to focus on. Well, it's just all of them. It's her. This is Jasmine with Alex. Okay? This is Jasmine with Alex. And Alex, as I explained, is the heir of the Soros empire. So George, he old and decrepit. He's still wicked and evil. And he's still wreaking havoc. But Alex is the one that's currently in charge of directing where things are going. So you see, this is why Jasmine can't be pro-family or pro-educational freedom. She has to be on board with the DEI, Green New Deal stupidness, and all this open border stuff. Yes, that's why she has to be on board with all of that stuff, is because this is who is buttering her bread. All of these Democrats, and it's not just her, all of these Democrats, they need funding for their campaigns, and they have been paid to push this ideology on America. I'm sorry. Who's taking a picture with George Soros or Alex Soros unless we are chummy with we got pictures of Alex with Obama, Alex with Kamala, Alex is with lots of Democrats because he is the one that is funding a lot of this wickedness, the sexual perversion, the baby murder. These people meditate on blood. That's what they do. And so Alex is the new man on the totem pole, right? He is the new man on the totem pole. And therefore, all of the Democrats, why they can't stand up for things that are universally good and accepted, that, yeah, this is not a partisan issue, let's clap. They can't clap. They can't clap. The puppet master says, this is who we are and this is what you stand for. You can't clap. So that's just a fact. So my question is, since that is who is buttering her bread, right? If that's who's buttering her bread, why is it that she doesn't have any policies that are pro-family or pro-educational freedom? Why is it that all of her policies are reflective of the didn't earn it? Like, she earned her way through school, went to Rhodes College, didn't need DEI, right? Why do you need it? The Green New Deal, all of that stuff. Why is it that she can't promote policies that are pro-human flourishing if she cares about the Black community so much? I just explained to you why. My question is, where are her policies that incentivize Black women to marry before they carry, and policies that incentivize Black men to get back in charge and be the heads of their families? Because that's what we really need. Like, we've heard messaging like that from Byron Donalds. We've heard messaging like that from Wesley Hunt. Those are two congressmen who happen to be Black. We don't hear that kind of messaging from the left. The left would never promote a message like that. Also, you're going to absolutely have her advocating for reproductive justice, just like Kamala Harris, because these people meditate on blood. They ain't never met a fetus that they ain't never want to kill. And I know that sounds harsh, and it sounds inhumane, and it's because it is. It's because it is. And so, secondly, the commenter said that, Jasmine is out here fighting for democracy. And I just thought that whole statement was funny, because I'm like, you can't really be an advocate of democracy when the Democratic Party took your democratic process away from you and told you Joe Biden is out and Kamala is in, and you don't get a say. You don't get a choice. You vote for who we tell you to vote for, because if you don't vote for this, then you ain't Black. There's no democracy there. That's tyranny. So once again, the Democrats project, and then they train their constituents to project as well. The thing that they're accusing you or the other side of doing is what they're doing. All right. Comment number 2. This one was hard. I don't know what we're going to do with this one. I'm going to read it the way that it was written. And if it sounds like it don't make no sense, it's because it doesn't. It says, only after you stop worshiping the Klan, I know it's for clicks, who can be bad, be or despicable. He respects no one. What the hell are you talking, G, about, Kansas? You'll get your wake-up call as she did. Don't sell your soul, sis. End quote. Y'all, that comment right there was a grammatical crime scene. Now listen, people who know me on Facebook know that I am queen of the typo. I am queen of the typo. When I'm typing real fast, I'm just typing, and then I'm like, hit send, and then somebody be like, girl, you got a typo in your message, or you got a typo in your thumbnail. I'm like, oh, okay, appreciate it. I just go back and fix it. So listen, I get it. But I needed a forensics team. Somebody had to get the forensics team, because I need to understand how much of this incoherence made it into a single sentence. I don't even know what they're asking or saying, but I'm going to try to decipher it the best that I can. First of all, they mentioned worshiping the Klan. I don't worship the Klan, right? But you know who actually did? Those darn Democrats again, the Democrat Party. That's the same party that you defend so passionately, right? The Klan was the military arm of the Democrat Party, effectively, right? They are the ones that literally founded the KKK, wanted to maintain Jim Crow, and to keep Blacks to this day, to keep them psychologically and economically on a plantation with their equity scams. So yes, that party, the party of slavery, the party of subjugation and victimhood and oppression, that party. So I mean, that's all I really have to say about the KKK. Those are Democrats. But anyway, secondly, they wrote Candace, Candice, but I think they meant Candace. And I'm assuming that they're referring to Candace Owens. So let me help you. My name is April Chapman, right? I am April Chapman. I know that any Black woman who refuses to stay on code with the sisterhood and just cape for Democrats, you get thrown into the "you must be Candace Owens" bucket. But I assure you, okay, I am my own woman. I'm a lot older than Candace. I have my own voice. I have different life experiences than Candace, and I have my own conservative point of view. And let these people tell it. You would think that Candace Owens is the only conservative Black woman to ever exist on the face of the earth. I know it's an anomaly because all Black women in your purview must be progressive, liberal, man-hating feminists. But that's not me, okay? There are plenty of us out here. But thank you for the compliment, okay? So let me introduce myself again. I am April Chapman, right? Wife, mother, entrepreneur, Jesus follower, right? Like, pleased to meet you. Nope, not Candace. But to be fair, I actually have met Candace Owens. Beautiful soul, beautiful young woman, okay? I actually used to be the assistant state director for Blexic, Georgia, and I served as state advisor for Blexic, Georgia. This was back in the day, in the early days when the organization was first started. I am proud, much esteemed of what Candace has accomplished, okay? I admire her bravery. She's brave. We need more bravery, especially in a world where doing something different from the group is different. Like when you do something from the group that's different and it's frowned upon, and I have to dodge the arrows and just the social lynching that comes along with this. I get it. But we can't deny Kansas has built an amazing empire and a catalog of work that is to be applauded. The girl is doing the darn thing. So yes, I can celebrate Candace Owens all day, every day, twice on Sunday. But a Jasmine Crockett, I will not. Okay? Won't do it. So contrary to how Jasmine Crockett tried to present herself, she really doesn't know, in my opinion. Well, that's not true. She does know how to string together a coherent sentence without sounding like she's one step away from a drunken brawl at the Waffle House, but she chooses not to. And she does it because she's acting like a bonquisha on national television because she thinks that's going to give her more street cred. That's fine. But here's what I do know. What I do know is that she's embarrassing. She's an embarrassment to every well-adjusted, normal Black woman everywhere. And I will not celebrate that just because those at the bottom of the cultural barrel think well of her. I'm not going to do it. And I ain't scared of you. I said what I said. Now, comment number 3, quote, I wish all the Democrats were like Jasmine Crockett, and lots of people love her. She says what everyone wants to say. End quote. I'm like, yeah, I bet you do. Okay. Here's the thing. I'm hoping you're not saying that you wish that all Democrats were loud and ignorant with a foul mouth, embarrassing the culture and screaming senselessly and emoting, right? Instead of thinking and then using profanity in place of an actual argument. That's not a flex. That's not a flex. And that explains a lot. Here is what I have come to learn. All of this matriarchal squalor that we have been raised in, it has taught us that it is okay to always say how you feel, and that there is no need to restrain or control yourself because living in your truth is the most important. Well, that is why the culture is trash. That's why the culture is trash. Listen, If Jasmine Crockett is saying, quote, what everyone wants to say, then I have a serious concern about the everyone. That's where my concern lies. I'm now concerned with everyone, because if all you can muster in a political debate is profanity and emotion-driven nonsense with no logic, facts, or accurate policy knowledge, then you're not qualified to lead. You're barely qualified to hold the conversation, and people simply let you rant and then they tune you out. This is why the Democrats are not effective. No one is listening because all they do is emote. They are not even listening to their own constituents who are saying, y'all need to figure out a way to work with Trump, because a lot of the stuff he's doing is what we need to do. We can't stand him. We don't like him, but we would like to be energy independent again. This border is a problem. And my school system is trash, and school choice wouldn't be a bad idea. And girls and boys sports need to be separated. Like, it's just common sense stuff. So this is the problem. Too many people think that clapping back and being rude equals keeping it real. Newsflash, it don't always mean that, right? Like, you can be loud and then you can be loud and ignorant and you're still ignorant. Being passionate doesn't excuse being reckless. She's not saying what people want to say. She is saying what people without self-control blurt out when they have nothing intelligent to contribute. You got to make the category distinction and realize that those are not the same thing. Comment number 4. This one was really funny. Quote, who are you to judge? She is passionate and angry, not to be defined by anyone. I said, okay, here we go with the who are you to judge, right? That's that crowd. So every time someone holds people accountable, y'all break out the don't judge defense like it's some kind of magical force field or shield. Telling someone who are you to judge does not absolve you from the responsibility of just doing some self-examination and taking accountability for when you were in the wrong. When you mess up, it doesn't absolve you of that. Just saying it, it's like, okay, well, why are you saying that? Because first of all, everyone judges. Everyone. You judged me just by leaving this comment. You made a judgment. You judged Donald Trump. You judged the Republicans. So stop with the selective outrage. We all make judgments every single day. We take in knowledge, right? We make assessments based on what we know. And so, as a Christian, yes, I am to judge using righteous judgment. How on earth can I discern truth from error or right from wrong if I don't make a judgment call? Duh. I have to assess what someone is saying and then make a righteous judgment based on the information that I've obtained, comparing it to the word of God. And then there you go. You make your judgment. That's not a sin. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it. Don't judge. Okay, I'm not even going to spend a whole lot of time on that. It's kind of self-explanatory. But secondly, passion and anger, void of wisdom and self-control, is dangerous. It's dangerous. You can be just a loose cannon. You can be. But passion without purpose, that is chaos. That is what we see in the Black community. A bunch of chaos. A bunch of women flying off at the handle when you're like, did it really call for all of this? Right? This is why I call women like this orangutans, right? They are female imbeciles who cannot manage their misery, so they show out. That's the behavior that you see. Like you can be passionate and still have a modicum of class about yourself. You can speak with confidence. No one is disavowing that. And be led by convictions. You can even be angry and still maintain your self-respect and self-control. What you can't do is be reckless and belligerent and nasty on national television and then cry, I'm just being passionate, when people call you out on it. No, Jasmine Crockett is not a fearless warrior. She's an embarrassment. Yes, I said it and I said it out loud. She is making a fool of herself. And by extension, whether you want to accept it or not, she is making Black women look bad. Y'all love talking about protecting the image of Black women until it's time to hold a Black woman accountable for acting a fool in public. Pick a struggle. You can't have it both ways. It can't be both and. The reason why so many people are struggling to deal with us meaning Black women, is because when they see us coming, they already know that if you're going to engage with a Black woman, most times you better be prepared for a fight. If you mess up her order, you gotta cancel Christmas. If you cut in line in front of her by mistake because you didn't see her, call the police because a fight is about to break out. Deliver her refrigerator and the one that she ordered shows up and it don't fit, she'll hold you hostage inside of her home, refuse to let you leave, and then roll around on the grass holding your backpack hostage. That actually happened. I covered it earlier this week. We sat and watched a PhD make an absolute fool out of herself because she was angry that the refrigerator did not fit. And it's the refrigerator that she picked out because she failed to measure her space. I can't even begin to rehash that situation. But I was just like, and I know y'all be like, well, that was a situation, she had mental problems. Well, it's the situation. We all got mental problems now. Is that our crutch now? Our mental health is a problem. So we get to act a fool and show out like we ain't got no sense. Do I have to talk to you like I'm your old auntie or your mama and pop you upside the head because you ain't got no home training? Like, listen, I get it. I know some of y'all can't handle the truth. That's why I say it. And if I wanted to be popular, I would coddle you and yes, queen you to death. But I'm not going to do that. I know it makes you uncomfortable when someone dares to hold you accountable. I know exactly that feeling when someone I love tries to call me out on my BS and I'm biting my bottom lip because I'm like, first of all, that is not exactly how it happened. And that is not exactly what I did, but I know I got to eat it. I got to eat it because the criticism makes me grow. The criticism and the accountability makes me into a better person. And it trains me to recognize when I'm wrong. But if you've never been told that you were wrong, if you've never been held accountable, you will not have that muscle trained. And the moment it happens, you flip out. You will flip out. Your mama can't tell you nothing. Your daddy sure can't tell you nothing. Your man can't tell you nothing if you even have one. Can tell us something. That's my question. I need y'all to name the person. Because if somebody's saying, well, they didn't say it in the right way, or, it was their tone, or it was this, or it was that, well, who can do it? Tell me the parameters and how it needs to be done so we can establish a standard and then follow it. Because all of us at some point need to be told something. I am sorry if it makes you uncomfortable when someone dares to hold Black women to a higher standard than the lowest common denominator. If the bar is real low, then oh well. But let me be clear, I'm not backing down. I'm not backing down, and I ain't afraid of none of y'all. And yes, I said ain't. I did, right? Because sometimes that's the only language some of y'all hear. I already know that can't nobody tell us nothing. I know this. You think I would make that video if I thought you were going to be like, oh, yes, girl, we're so glad that you called her out because we love it when that happens. I know you don't like it. Just like petulant children who don't like to be corrected when they are wrong, that is how you're acting. And that's why you are always mad, walking around miserable, because no one has the guts to tell you anything because they're too afraid of the backlash. And I think I was just uniquely equipped and built for it. So I'm going to continue to call out the foolishness. whether people like it or not. And we don't have to be friends. Like, we really don't. Like, I'm not mad if I don't get an invite to Sunday brunch. Like, I'm just not gonna feel no ways about it at all. I don't need to be eating all them carbs anyway. It will be okay. I will be just fine. And I'm gonna eat my salad at home and I'm gonna do it with a smile. So